Okay, so here we have the LG Octane and the LG Cosmos Touch, both from Verizon Wireless, both great messaging phones. And so we're going to put them head to head and see which one is better in a dogfight, phone dog style. I'm sitting behind the camera, you can see me there. Sorry I can't appear in front of the camera, I have a little bit of a cold right now in case you can't hear it. So we're just going to do this with the phones and you can focus on those because it's not about me anyway. So it's the Octane and the Cosmos Touch. Before we get on to this, I had to say special thanks to our friends at Best Buy Mobile. The reason we thank them all the time is because they give us free phones so that we can give you guys free phones and the One Paw Bandit. So don't hate, they're basically giving you free phones. One of the great things about Best Buy Mobile is that they handle the rebates so you don't have to worry about mailing it in. So thanks Best Buy Mobile. Now again, the Octane and the Cosmos Touch, they are both great messaging phones. You can see they both have physical keyboards. The design, the form factor is a little different because the Octane is a clamshell device and so you flip it open, whereas the Cosmos Touch is a slider. So a little bit different there. Also, in just, basically you can tell the Cosmos Touch obviously has a touch screen, whereas the Octane does not. And so, different people, are going to prefer different things. One person may think, the touch screen is where it's at. I only want a phone that has a touch screen. The Octane doesn't have that. So, in that sense, then yeah, the Cosmos Touch does kind of have that edge. The Octane does have a great display though. Even though it's not a touch screen, it's still a great display. It has a 2.6-inch LCD display. It has a resolution of 320. I was looking up at my notes, so I didn't even notice that the screen had timed out. It has a resolution of 320 by 240. So, it's pretty bright, pretty clear. Obviously once you get close to it, you're going to see kind of it's a little rough around the edges on text and pictures, but it is still a great display. Now the Cosmos Touch, it's a little bit bigger. The display here is a little bit bigger. It's a 2.8-inch display, so just, slightly larger. Again, it's a touchscreen. It is a resistive touchscreen, not capacitive, so it's resistive. And it has a resolution of 240 by 400. So, a little different there. Both are great, and, it does have a resistive touchscreen, but it performed pretty well. Now, the LG Octane, along with its 2.6-inch interior display, it also has this smaller exterior display that's really just used for basic menu functions. You can view your text messages. You can also, type a text using the T9 keypad. Then you can view your contacts, music, take a picture. So you can still do some stuff, kind of limited, and then also the menu is pretty basic. Once you open it up, you get to the actual meat of the device. So touchscreen, non-touchscreen, that's up to you. More on physical design, you can see the Octane has kind of a more high-end device. It is more expensive, it costs $100 on contract, and so you would expect it to look pretty good, and it does. You can see it has that chrome or metallic finish around the edges also there. It looks like a pretty good device, and it has sort of a stylized back, so they've managed to make it look good and also feels very solid in the hand. It just feels like a great device, and the design of it it's definitely pretty nice. Now the Octane, it's a little more cheap kind of looking, a little more plasticky. You can see the design is pretty simple, save for some curved lines on the back. But it's a pretty simple design. But then again, it's cheaper. It's only $80 on contract. So, but the Octane does definitely have a more high-end looking design. As far as more hardware goes, Cosmos Touch, you have 3 buttons: call, back, speakerphone, end, and power. And then you have your micro SD card slot. It supports up to 16 gigabytes and does not come pre-installed with a card. Dedicated camera button, screen lock, and unlock key. Now this is where the Octane and the Cosmos Touch differ again. The Cosmos Touch has a 3.5mm headphone jack, as you can see, whereas the Octane only has a 2.5mm headphone jack. So that, may not be a huge deal for everyone. To some people, you know, you're like, well, I can just go out and buy, you know, a 2.5mm set of headphones. But you're going to have to go buy them, whereas, you know, you probably have a set already with a 3.5mm jack. Also, in terms of music, while the Cosmos Touch does have that 3.5mm headphone jack, it does not have access to VCast music with Rhapsody. So you can see here you do have a music player, and so, you know, any songs that you've already downloaded onto your computer, you can, you know, sync your phone and then get that music. But you don't have access to VCast music where you can just download songs straight from the phone. Whereas with the Octane, you do have access to VCast music. So kind of a little strange there. You have a 3.5mm headphone jack, but no access to music. Whereas here it's a 2.5, but you do have access to it. So kind of depends on what you want. Now, I mentioned the micro SD card slot on the Cosmos Touch supports up to 16 gigabytes. The Octane also has a micro SD card slot right here, and it also supports up to 16 gigabytes, so not a whole lot of difference there. And then we can turn it over, and you can see the camera. This is a 3.2 megapixel camera with a flash. Now, the Cosmos Touch has a 1.3 megapixel camera, 2x digital zoom, but that's pretty much it. There are a couple of features, you know, night mode, white balance, brightness controls, different things like that, but it is still a pretty basic camera. 1.3 megapixels, that's really inadequate, I would say. I think, you know, LG definitely could have done a much better job with the camera. The Octane also captures video, QVGA video capture, which is 320 by 240. So, you know, not outstanding, but it does capture video that you can send in a message to friends if you would like. So again, you know, an advantage to the Octane for having definitely, without a doubt, a much better camera.